Great rise in the moonlight, beloveds. You know what it is. You know who it is. It's your girl, Queen Goddess, the King Advocate. And it is Melanated Monday. I'm going to play a little something for you. I do not own the rights to this music, but I want you to listen to it. It is called Lying to Myself. And I thought it was very appropriate for this evening's conversation. So I appreciate you all for coming on in. I see you. Come on in. I could have told you something felt wrong from the second you came along. Now here I am stuck in a labyrinth. Come on in. And I'm feeling kind of homesick. So I was in Detroit, never felt so cold. Wish that I could pack it up and I do not own the rights to this music, but y'all come on in. We're going to have a very necessary conversation. Come on in. Come on in. All right, again, tonight's topic is based on part 3 of the level up conversation that we started. So we're going to be discussing the emotional honesty of communication and why narcissism is on the rise. We need to have this conversation. There's going to be some people that join us live that will watch the video later that will probably be in their feelings. They will probably be pissed off. Better to be pissed off than pissed on, I say. So I know it's going to hit some folks, and that's okay. Hopefully it will hit in a way to cause you to get some help to heal yourselves. Okay? There is a drastic rise of narcissism, and we're going to talk about why, how, and things that we can do to cause it to at least not increase, okay? And what the opposite of being a narcissist is, okay? So we're going to talk about some things. So y'all come on in, get your pen and pad if you need to. If you want to take some notes, go ahead and start sharing the video, invite people in so they can join the conversation as well. We're going to have it, okay? And then next week or the week after, it gets even deeper. I'm not playing with y'all, okay? It's a lot of things that need to be discussed, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it. So again, if you're new here, the warning is bring everything. Bring your people, bring your ideas, bring your opinions. You can bring all of that, but do not bring your feelings, because it is my intention to stomp on them, okay? And I say that with every bit of love and genuineness that I have in me, and you'll learn about me the more you come about, okay? That whole F your feelings will save your life. Okay, so y'all come on in. I see you coming. I appreciate whoever it is over here. I appreciate you for coming. I said, bring your friends, bring your folks on in. Y'all come on. Come on. I'm ready to have this conversation. I'm ready to have it. Okay, cut this off. Again, that song that you were listening to is by Leland Blue. It is called Lying to Myself. Look it up. All right, because we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Again, tonight's conversation deals with emotional honesty, communicating it, and why narcissism is on the rise. I will open my phone lines up a little bit later once you all get in here and start participating. I'm going to probably start with or without y'all. Okay? If I need to go back, I will. But yeah, we're going to have this conversation. So, y'all know I start on time. And I'm going to continue to start on time whether you're here or not. So, First of all, when I bring you topics, it's usually based on something happening or there being a download, something is given to me where the conversation needs to be had. Like I said, I know it's going to be some people who are offended, and that's okay. Um, but this conversation needs to be had. Um, I, as a counselor, have seen a tremendous increase in narcissism in men and women. Okay. And I address it because I've seen a lot more of it amongst us, melanated so called black people. I've seen a lot of it. Okay. Um, so, like I said, we're going to talk about why those, why there is an increase in narcissism. So, first of all, let's do this. Let's talk about the opposite of narcissism. The opposite of narcissism is empathy. A person, and I'm sure you have probably heard the word, empathetic. And what that means is a person that is naturally in tune with other people. They feel or they connect with other people. They're able to relate to them on their level. They're able to relate to them as if they were in their shoes. They can see things from more than one point of view. Um, they care for other people. Other people are usually their center. It's about others first as opposed to it being about themselves. Um, Empaths usually draw people who are looking for that nurturing, that caring, that support. And a lot of times, the people that are drawn to empaths are narcissists. Okay. Because narcissists are the complete opposite. Narcissists look to have things done specifically and only for them. They are all about themselves. They will do and use anybody for anything as long as it benefits them. They are not emotionally attached to anybody, not even themselves. They tend to be a bit reckless. I say it's all about them. Whatever they can do to get whatever they need from whomever they can get it from, that's what they do. They're not concerned about how you feel, how you may have been affected or infected by what they did, what they said, as long as the outcome benefits them. That's their sole uh, concern. Okay. Um, Empathy is what I've grown to learn. Also, that empathy is something you're born with it, right? You're born with it, and mothers are very influential on whether or not their child will be empathetic or not. Women are generally nurturing beings. Okay, generally. You have some that are just not. Okay, so this is not all encumbarancing, okay, for everyone, but women being generally nurturing, mothers being generally nurturing, have a great influence on um, whether or not or how much their child will be empathetic. There is a genetic cursor dealing with empathy. Um, one of the ways, particularly when a mother is raising and I'm just using this as an example, when a mother is raising a child, a son, um, how she handles him, how she shows him support and love and protection and all that will ultimately influence how that male child will in turn give those characteristics out, or how he will in turn become more empathetic or not. If she is a woman who is um, very distant, very cold, maybe traumatized, emotionally detached, whatever, then that is how she's going to influence her child. So if we're talking about a male child, then we'll be talking about a male that would grow up to have a disconnect emotionally with women. He may be abusive. He may be extremely disrespectful toward women in particular. Um, it really depends on how she has connected with him. And y'all know I get personal, I get very transparent. Okay. We've talked about it before. When I had my son, I was in a different space. Um, I wasn't, even though I planned them, I planned both of my kids. Okay. Even though I did, I was not really ready and was having some issues with their father. So my mental space was a little, I'll say, unstable for the lack of a better term, emotionally. Anyway, I was doing things by myself, for myself. And I was angry throughout most of my pregnancy. My son got the brunt of that. He received that. He has grown up to have some issues, with women. I took responsibility for a long time for that because I know where I was or was not when I was carrying him. So a lot of that, he received it. He received it honestly. Okay. Of course, as you get older, you have your own mind. You make your own decisions. You can change things. You know what I'm saying? You make your own decisions. You make your own consequence. Okay. So after a while, it's like, okay, well, you old enough to know, you old enough to be able to make a decision. What you decide to do, those consequences are solely yours, and I'm done. You know, but I had to look at it from where I was. What you think, how you move, how you treat women has a lot to do with how I treated you, how I was connected or not connected. We didn't connect right out the gate. I didn't get a chance to hold him until he was like 2 weeks old. Okay, well, the opportunity to connect was gone. He was in ICU. So the opportunity to bond was immediately taken away. So that's that. That's my story. But again, how the mother basically receives or interacts with her child influences whether or not they will be empathetic or the level of empathy they will have, because like I said, there is a genetic cursor to it. It is passed down. With saying all of that, since the mother has such an influence on the child, the father, also the husband, the boyfriend, the whatever he is, has an equally important influence on the child, because he's going to influence her. How he treats her influences how she connects sometime with what she's carrying, because it belongs to him. Okay. We tend to forget this. It's not the woman, she's just pregnant, she just made this whole thing up by herself. Nobody or nothing else was, a participant, and she just acting shitty because that's the way she is. She just mean because she just choose to be. It's just her hormones. No, 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 no. It's not solely her. Okay. We've talked about, if you don't like what she's giving you, you need to check what you have given her, because she's gonna give it back to you. If you don't like what came out, homie, check yourself. What did you deposit before you talk about what you withdrew? What you put in there, okay? What you put in is what you get out. So if you didn't like it, check you. So again, back to the father part. Um, how the man treats that woman also influences the child. Is Nobody is excluded. Okay, she's carrying it, but he produced it. Those things are working together. Okay, is not one-sided. They are working together. So if the father, the husband, the boyfriend, the whatever he is, the oops, I messed up tonight, what's your name, whatever, okay, if he is an ass, let's just say that. If he's an ass and he's an ass toward her, that is going to affect and or infect her connection to what she's carrying, because she's now reminded that she's carrying a baby ass. She is carrying the ass of an ass. Okay? It's going to affect her. So if that's her mindset, if that's where she is, then she's going to disconnect from that child. Her empathy level is going to decrease, right? Because now she's in a fight or flight mentality. She's now in a mode where she has to protect herself. She has to support herself. She has to defend herself. So, how she relates to what she's carrying is going to be affected. It's going to be infected, if you will, because of what she was exposed to. So, gentlemen, please do not disregard your influence on the woman that you impregnate and the child that comes from that comes as a result of it. You are equally responsible for what is being produced. So we got a whole bunch of knucklehead ass whatevers out here. It didn't just come from the mother who happened to be um, less empathetic. It didn't just come from her. Okay, it came from him as well. You all forget that you have an influence on us just the same as we have an influence on you. I hear people say, "Well, I can't control how somebody think. I can't control how somebody feel. I can't control what somebody say, but you can influence it." Let's just keep it real. Now, we all are responsible for what we do, say, think, how we move. We're responsible for that. However, our brain is going to take the information given to us and kind of replay it, and we're going to be emotionally attached to the thought. The feeling connects to the thought, which then produces an action. Thought, feeling, action. We are both equally responsible. I'm just saying, okay? We are equally responsible. Again, check with your deposit. So again, going back to just empathy in general, newborn babies are extremely out the gate empathetic. They don't know differences. They don't recognize differences. They don't recognize things that are wrong per se. They don't recognize um, dislikes right out the gate. They're kind of taught that, okay? Or like I said, certain things are within them, but how it's nurtured is totally up to both of the parents. But newborns are extremely empathetic. They have a natural uh, care mechanism, if you will, a natural trusting mechanism, a natural nurturing mechanism. They are taught to do the complete opposite. As parents, and this be it mother and father, particularly with male children, we have a tendency to create, we are developing less empathetic males because we are insisting that male children don't deserve to be or to have their emotions recognized or catered to. If they fall and hurt themselves, just brush it off. You a little boy. You ain't supposed to cry. You a little boy. So what? She hurt your feelings. You a little boy. You ain't supposed, that type of stuff. Or if a little boy is crying, just and it seems like it's for no reason, we won't go and grab him. We won't hug him. We won't console him. Shut up, little boy. You crying for nothing. Whatever. You quit acting like a little punk. We do that to him. Okay, from a little thing. We do that to him. But the little girl, we run to her. What's wrong with mama's baby? What's wrong with daddy's baby? Oh, I got you. I'm gonna protect you. I'm gonna love you forever. Nobody's ever gonna do anything to you. But then the little boy is like, but what about me? What do I get? So what you're saying is you'll let somebody f me up though. You'll let somebody just do whatever they want to do to me. You'll leave me out in the cold. It's okay if I'm hurt, if I injure myself or somebody causes an injury to me. It's you're saying that's okay? Oh, I see. Okay, so what is now happening is, like I said, we are creating less empathetic male children, and in doing that, we are what's the word I'm looking for? Aiding, if you will, in the development of a narcissist. We're aiding in the development of a narcissist because what we have done is put this child in a I got to protect myself mode. It's all about me mode. I got to do what I got to do for me mode all the time. So everything is about him. He's going to do what he got to do for him and him alone. And it doesn't matter who else is affected or infected because it's about him. That is us creating a narcissist. We are developing narcissists because we are beliving that what society has said that boys are supposed to be treated a different kind of way. Boys are supposed to be treated roughly. Boys are supposed to be treated with less empathy and care and love and concern and nurturing. Because if they get all of that, then they're going to grow up to be punks and wussies and whips and simps and everything else. We're teaching them that, and they were wondering why. As they get older, when they get older and they become grown ass men or they become old enough to date, while we keep hearing about our son, that nigga ain't shit. He is horrible. He is nothing ass. He right. Um, we created that. We're creating them. We're making these children narcs. We're making them narcissists because of what society has conditioned us to be live on how a male child is to be raised and treated, how men are supposed to be treated, how a male, a masculine, is supposed to be treated versus how you're supposed to treat a female. So don't be live and don't get it confused. That same type of behavior also creates narcissistic women because when you put everything on her or in her, everything is about her, then she too goes into this it's about me. I don't need nobody else. I'm going to get what I need to have. I'm going to be an independent woman. I don't need nobody. She going to be that chick, right? So we're creating a narcissistic female, which is why it's important for us to have the balance. We have to have the masculine and the feminine, the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy. We have to have it, and they need to be healthy. We need to be doing things together in order to create the balance in our society, okay, in our community, in our household. I think everybody's coming up. I see you all, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you, loved one. I see you. Okay. So there is an issue on how we are, or what we're doing in our creation of the creation. We are creating the very thing we say we don't want, the very thing we complain about, the very thing we're trying to get away from. We're creating it because we're not recognizing our input in the development of it. Okay? If I lost any of y'all, I'm sorry for you. Okay? What we're talking about this evening is emotional honesty and communicating and why narcissism is on the rise. So, right now, I'm just dealing with the narcissistic behaviors and empaths because they're completely opposite. I will go back over that a little bit later. Um, I've come to You all have seen it. So I've come to learn you've seen it. You'll see videos where they'll have, an animal that has no business interacting with a different type of animal, hugged up on it, nurturing it, feeding it, even. You know what I'm saying? You have a chicken trying to be a mother to a dog. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But even they have a sense of empathy. And that's so crazy that an animal can have more care instinct than human beings. That's ridiculous. To see two animals that are normally at each other's throats, hence cats and dogs, to see them piled up, you know what I'm saying? To see them protecting each other is ridiculous when the human beings can't do the same thing for one another. Absolutely. Absolutely, G. Selfishness 101. Absolutely. Okay. So going back to narcissism or empathy, let's deal with the empathy. If the animals can have care and concern for other animals that are completely different from them, why do human beings have such a problem with it? And I will touch on that. You know I am. I'm going to throw some things out there to you that you probably have not considered or haven't paid attention to. And after tonight, you're going to pay attention. Okay? Um, one of the, let me get to, is that one of the important factors of being empathetic, and this is per psychologists, doctors, whatever, empathy helps to preserve life. How is that so? Again, when you talk about what empathy is being able to connect with another, seeing the similarity between you and another. When you see a similarity between you and somebody else, there's an immediate connection. There is a concern because it's like you look at them and it's like, that's me. A part of you sees yourself in them, so you connect. There's a similarity, there's an empathy. You tend to care a little bit more because you recognize what they're doing. You know you do the same thing. You know you've said the same thing. You know you've experienced the same thing. So the familiarity is what's connecting you. That is the empathy. When you are empathetic, when you have that familiarness, when you have that connection with the other person, there is a natural sense of, I need to protect that, I need to go preserve that, I need to go whatever it, help it, because that's me, because I see me in that. That's how it helps preserve life. I see myself in you, so I'm coming to save you because I would save myself. I hear what you're saying. I've said those same things, so I'm going to listen to what you're saying. I see what you're going through. I feel what you're going through because I've had that same experience or a familiar or similar experience. So I'm going to help you. I'm going to be here for you because I feel you, dog. You know what I'm saying? When you say I feel you, that's word. Okay? I feel you. I've had that same experience. You literally feel what that other person is experiencing because you've done it. You've connected with them. There's empathy there. So, because of your empathy, you are going to preserve that person in some way because you see yourself. It's self preservation mirrored, basically. It's like an external self preservation. I see me in you, so I'm coming to get you. People who are not empathetic don't see themselves in anybody. Okay, you drowning, I'm sorry for you. Say your last wishes, dude, for your head go under. I can't see myself out there. You know what I'm saying? They're not connected. It's all about them. They know they not finna go out in that water. They not finna come get your ass. They know that. You know what I'm saying? Your house is on fire. You need somebody to come and catch you when you jump out that window, dude. Uh, I can't help you, dude, because if you jump down and you land on my head, or you break something, you step on my shoes, mm-mm. I ain't gonna be able to do. I can't see myself in your position. So good luck with that. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff. That type of behavior, that type of thought, that thinking, when it's solely about you all the time and you cannot relate to nobody, narcissism. Okay, that is a narcissistic trait. Okay, and let me make it clear, because I've said this before. Everybody at some point, if it be for a moment, we all at some point express some type of trait, okay, or a behavior, okay? I'm not talking about those one moments that, every now and again when something triggers. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about ongoing behavior, ongoing thoughts, ongoing actions. Ongoing is always about them. That's different, okay? That's a narcissist. I'm gonna read your comments momentarily. Um, so I'm gonna go into some of the ways that, because there's a lot to be said. Let me do this real quick. I was listening to something, and they were talking about some of the ways to combat narcissism, some of the ways to increase, if you will, empathy. Empathy, there is a cognitive empathy and an emotional empathy, and the cognitive empathy can be taught. It's a skill. It's learned. Okay, and some of the things that I picked up on. Now, this wasn't said. This wasn't said, but what I picked up is some of the things that have occurred in society, in the world, some of the things that have been removed from access have a lot to do with why people are narcissistic. Okay. One of the things, and I'm not a religious person, okay, but when religion was taken out of the schools, when people were not allowed to pray in school, when they were not allowed to connect to their God, when they were not allowed to connect with the higher being, whatever they call it, that took away from them being able to relate to something outside of themselves that was greater than themselves. It took something away from them. So it put them in a, okay, well, I got to preserve this. I have to save this about me. I have to protect this. I can't do this out in the open. So I got to make sure that I'm still able to do it. So I got to make it about me. It turned everything inward. Okay. That was one thing. When we had to deal with a particular date when certain buildings collapsed in a certain state. Okay, when that incident happened, for a moment, I know I'm not, I'm all over the place, and I know it. Okay, but when that particular thing happened, for a moment, people were expressing empathy. People were more concerned with each other. We would talk to the strangers. Um, we were saying hello. We were being concerned about other people. We were there for a moment. That moment changed real quickly when the idea, or when the news presented, when the media presented an enemy that who is being held responsible for it. Okay, so now when that came about, Empathy was like, oh, okay, so this what y'all doing? Bet. Okay, so that means that we can't care about none of y'all. We can't have no empathy, no sympathy, no nothing for y'all. It's about us. It's us against y'all. Y'all are an enemy. So now we're gonna do whatever we gotta do to stay disconnected. We're gonna protect ourselves. Okay. So now individually slash collectively, when we see individuals that look a certain type of way according to what we were told, okay, we immediately went into self-preservation. We immediately saw the differences between us and them immediately. So they immediately became a threat. They were immediately an enemy. So we are now forced into self-preservation, all about me, all about us. Now, as a nation, it's all about us, y'all. We got to stay strong. Us, we can't let them come over here and do this, that, and the other because this is what they did to us. Blah blah blah. All that bullshit. Whatever. So, as a nation, we turned into self. Okay, we were no longer, if we ever really were, we are no longer that nation that cared about other nations. We'll help you. We'll give you our everything. We want that. We like, oh hell no. Oh hell no. You not coming over here doing that. You want us back. We not no. We're not doing that. So as a nation, we developed into, or were created to be, narcissistic because it's solely about us. It's solely about this particular nation. These are my thoughts. Okay? Nobody said this. Don't go looking it up because you might not find it. I'm telling you how I put some things together. It could be hella wrong. It could be absolutely correct. Makes sense to me. Anyway, um, another one of the things is when arts were taken out of the school system. Arts, music, music is a universal language. Music brings everybody together. You may not speak a lick of the same language that everybody else speaks that's around you, but you know the lyrics to this here. You know how this drum sound. You know how this guitar make you move. We can relate. That's the similarity. Music is an empathetic binder. Music brings people together. Music puts people on the same level, in the same frequency, if you will. It's universal. That is our similarity. We are speaking the same language. Arts, the same thing. It's an expression of whatever. It doesn't matter if I don't know what that is that you just drew. I don't know what that is. It's a whole bunch of clay. I don't know what that is, what you were trying to create with all of that clay, but I recognize it as art. So I respect it. I'm familiar with that. I can relate to it because it's art. I recognize art. So when art was taken out of the schools, that's something else that um, caused people to go inward because art art is a universal expression. Now you're taking it away. Okay, so that means I can't express myself to anybody. It's all about me. It's all about me. It's all about me. It's this little thing. Well, I can't say the little things, but it's things that are happening and have been happening throughout our history that we're not really paying attention to, how they really affect us collectively in our mental and emotional space. For us to be in a point where narcissism or any type of mental or emotional, I'll say, dis-ease is just rising. It's becoming more common. You got to look at the possibilities of why that is. It's not being said because it's just a thing to say nowadays. This is some real shit that's happening. People's emotional states are really fucked up. Okay, we're really dealing with some stuff um, worldwide. Common. It's common everywhere, and we're not putting these things together. The events that are happening in the world, one, are deliberate. Okay, nothing is accidental or coincidental. It is deliberate. There is an agenda to create a certain mindset that can be controlled. I'm not going to go all off into that today. Okay, I've done it before. Y'all can check some other videos. But there is an agenda to create a one mind set. Okay, one mindset that can be controlled by a few. The masses, the mind of the masses, controlled by the mind of a few. There is an agenda. In order for that to be able to happen, we got to get the collective, we got to get the mass in the same area, in the same space, on the same frequency. We got to keep showing them these things that are embedded in their brain now, embedded in their mind, embedded in their vision, embedded in their hearing, embedded in their bodies. We got to traumatize the masses. We got to traumatize the masses. So we're going to create scenarios, we're going to create events, we're going to create problems, and then create the solution. Because we need these people to follow what we want them to follow so we can obtain and maintain control of the masses. I know I lost y'all, and I apologize if I did, but it is what it is. And I know some of you all don't, listen to this and like, this she out of her damn mind. I don't know what the hell she's talking about. It's over my head, and it might be, and I get it. But just because you don't understand it right now, don't make it false. Okay? Don't make it false. If you want to call in, please feel free to do so. I'll open the phone line now. You can do so 770-906-5271. 770-906-5271. Um, this the latest pandemic, if you will, was another uh, means of creating or depleting empathy. Okay, what it did, it said, well, there's this new thing out, and if you're amongst others, you're probably going to be infected. So your best bet is to stay your behind in the house, away from people. Don't talk to nobody. Don't go outside. Don't be with your family. Don't connect with folks like that. Don't be out in the sun. Don't connect with nature. Stay your ass in your house. Keep the doors closed and locked. Pull the shades down on the windows. Cover your head up with the blanket. I don't care that it's 99 degrees. You'll be fine. Don't go outside and get groceries. Eat whatever you got in your house. Don't have nobody deliver shit. Don't do any of that. Stay isolated. This is what we need you to do. We need you to stay isolated. And we're gonna cause you to stay fearful enough. And as long as we need you to stay in that mindset, so you keep your ass in the house, so we can continue to create some other things to keep you in a mindset of fear, so you will do what we want and need you to do when we flip this here switch on your ass and tell you it's necessary in order for your phones to work. Okay, so I'm not going to keep going back and forth on that right there, but I need you all to think about it, because it was the isolation that caused the not being able to interact with other people, that caused us to be isolated, that caused us to be in a mindset of, oh, it's all about me. I'm not calling you on the phone because you might cough and your shit might come through the phone, and I'm gonna have my mouth open and I'm gonna swallow your junk. Bullshit. You know what I'm saying? This silly shit. But it's caused us to be isolated. It caused us to be away from other people. It has caused a a cultural, if you, I say it like that, it has caused a cultural narcissistic state of mind because now everybody, generally speaking, is about, it's about me. I'm gonna protect me at all costs. I'm gonna do what I gotta do for me at all costs. If you coughing, uh, I'm gonna have to put something in your skull because if you cough on me, bruh, it's going down. You know what I'm saying? It's created. It's created. Y'all hear the laughter. We got G Walker on the line. What's going on, loved one?
You are exactly right. I'm talking about if there was a bullseye big enough to put you on, then you would need to be on it, boy. I'm trying to tell you. It's you the bullseye.
That's what's up.
Exactly. I'm going to give you two examples and I'm done.
Okay.
First of all, years ago, I was up when I was back in New York. A colleague of mine from college, he gave me this booklet, well, not a booklet, but some paper about how they were building privatizing the jails, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm alluding to what you were saying, just what you just said about how they make problems, and they already had a problem solving,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't want to solve it, but they have a treatment for it. In other words,
there you go.
They how they were doing the prison system. This is like in 2000, 2001.
Mm-hmm.
And when they were doing what they were building the prisons then,
mm-hmm.
mass prison, the mass for mass incorporation. Then they came right along after that. That's when they came with you alluded to it just a little bit with the down paying to going to school. It ain't important. Yada yada yada. Don't do this. Don't that. Now you got a bunch of felonies going on. Now you got a bunch of Then when they privatize it, the if you will, the CEOs of the prison or the prison owns, if you will, threatened to sue each state and that they were in, saying, "Hey, we need to keep these prisons full." So what better yet than to tell Jamario and all the rest of them that they don't need to go to school. Now you go to school, you get in trouble, you go to prison.
Right.
They make $25,000 to $35,000 per person. Anyway, wow. So they made the problem. See, I'm gonna say something at the end of this. Let me give you another example. And I hate to touch on this, but I am because I don't. A disease, it rhymes with answer. I don't like to say that word.
Right.
I don't like certain words come out. Mm-hmm. But you get the gist of what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. They built I'm not gonna say what city, but they built a mass across from the Fox. They have a massive building, a facility, mm-hmm. all glass on one side, but it's an answer treatment center. Mm. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But they built that first. Then you heard about the influx of people having an answer.
Right. Right.
You understand what I'm saying? All over the place.
Exactly.
Guess where they going?
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, I know it hit home, but I know, like you say, I know, but you are exactly right, Miss Bullseye. And the same thing today. But the bottom line is, again, the library and books must be a disease.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
The libraries and the books must be a disease.
Right. Right.
You ain't afraid to catch it. Man, anyway.
Yes.
But you were exactly right. Preach on, my sister.
I appreciate you, darling. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, love was.
All right. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So again, I appreciate G for calling in. If anybody else wants to call in and share your thoughts, comments, concerns, you got a question, feel free. 770-906-5271. Like I said, I know when I start speaking about certain things, folks get mad. They show up and get the hell on, or they just don't come on in because they don't want to be forced to get the hell on. Either way, I'm going to say what needs to be said because it needs to be said. And if your feelings got hurt, I warned you ahead of time. Don't bring them shits because that's what I do. Okay? Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Okay? There are ways to increase empathy. There are ways to do so. And one of the ways, as one of the psychologists spoke on, she says one of the ways to increase empathy is to read fiction books. Why read fiction books? Because again, empathy is all about being able to relate, it's all about being able to see yourself in another person's position. Fiction causes you to have to imagine. You have to put yourself in the picture. You have to imagine what it's like. Whatever it is you're reading, you have to imagine what it's like. So in doing so, it allows you um, to experience it, right? To be able to see a similarity, to be able to connect with it, because it incites your imagination. Okay, you have to put yourself in the shoes of, if you will, the character or whatnot. um, the first and foremost, in order for anything to happen, in order for change to happen in any type of way, it starts here. You have to, as an individual and as a collective, prioritize it. Prioritize what's important to you. If you don't give a damn, guess what's going to happen? Nothing. If you don't want something to change, you're not going to do anything to change it. You're not going to cause anything to change. So it's going to stay the same. Okay? So that's first and foremost. Um, Expose yourselves to things that are different. Like we particularly when we talk about our children, we want to keep them away from things that are different, or maybe even we were brought up, oh, don't talk to him or her because they got green hair, or they got big noses, or, whatever the case is. So we stay away from them. We become inverted, if you will, introverted. Okay, it becomes, I can't relate to you. So there's no empathy there. I don't see myself connected to you on no level whatsoever. It don't matter if you're a human being. It doesn't matter if you're a girl like me. It doesn't matter if you're melanated like me. It doesn't matter if I don't. You got green hair. Okay, so it's more about less focus on the things that are different and focus more on the things that are similar. Okay, that's another reason. I mean, another way rather. And to become more involved in the community, do more things, become more interactive in the community. When you are interactive in the community, you are involved with other people. You see what's going on. You can talk about things to make something better or make things different. You are working with other people. You're part of the community, right? You're part of it. You see yourself in it. You're going to want to participate. You're going to want to protect yourself. You're going to want to make sure that you're able to elevate and have access to certain things. You're going to want to do that. So that's a way. These are just a few of the ways to increase your empathy. Now, I want to go real quick into emotional honesty. What does this have to do with what I was just talking about? A lot. People lie, and they lie all the damn time. People lie about how they feel. They lie about the emotions that they are experiencing, be it good, bad, indifferent. They lie about it. They lie about it to themselves. They lie about it to other people. And within that, while they're lying, they are creating another reality. I talked about this before. They're creating another reality while they're creating that reality. So let me go back a minute. Say for instance, you have a gentleman who, and I'm just using a gentleman as an example, it can be male or female, but you have a person who is madly in love with somebody. I just can't live without you, or at least I don't want to. You are everything to me. I've never been with anybody like you before. You are just the bomb diggity. I can see myself with you all of that. You're all of that. You're all I've ever wanted, right? But because that individual has never had anybody like you, they're used to dealing or being dealt with by the complete opposite, by people who were not real, people who did not give a damn, people who did not love healthily, people who were not supportive, whatever the case is. Because they were used to that, they will not give themselves over to you wholly emotionally because they are blocked. They have blocked themselves. They are holding on to what they're used to, even though it's not really what they want, but that's what they're used to. So they hold on to it. So they're lying. They're trying to make themselves believe that what they're holding on to is really what they love because they're used to it, right? They're used to it. So yeah, I love you. We've been together for 8 years, and I must love you because I'm still here. That's no, not really. You're lying. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to the person that you're with. But you have also created a different reality. You've created a reality that is false. You have created another false reality. You have created a world where again it's about you because you're trying to preserve your emotional state. um, you be live because you've created that this person who is really good for you, who is really probably the best thing you've ever seen in your life on all levels, you've created this scenario that says that individual is going to hurt me, is hurting me, is not real, is da 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 da. Whatever it is going on in your, whatever you're telling yourself, you created this brand new world. So now you have become introverted, right? It's all about you. Now you got to defend yourself against the one thing that's trying to protect you from what you connected to. Bruh, sis, I'm here to help you. And you know that. You know it, but you rather hold on to your trauma, your drama, your mama, whatever. You'd rather hold on to all of that than acknowledge your true emotion, your true feelings, your true connection to this particular individual. You'd rather hold on to your drama than to connect with the realness. So you create a world that says, you my enemy, I must destroy you, because you can't be honest about how you feel. You won't be honest about it because you're scared of it. You fear what you feel. You fear what you are experiencing because it's different than what you've ever experienced. What you are creating, my friend, male, female, what you are creating, what you are developing is a narcissistic behavior. You are creating yourself, turning yourself into, developing into a narcissist because it's all about you now. You're going to do everything you need to do to make sure you're protected, to make sure you get what you want. It doesn't matter if the person that you love, or it doesn't matter. I gotta, it's all about me. I gotta protect myself from you, even though I don't think you really the one that's gonna hurt me. You probably not, but I'm gonna make myself belie that you are, and I'm gonna turn on you. I'm gonna turn on you, and because it's all about me. That's narcissistic. But people don't want to talk about their emotions. People don't want to be honest about how they feel. They don't want to be genuine because they're afraid of their own feelings. They may be concerned about how they look to other people. Whatever they, like I said, have created a whole new reality, which is false. They've created a real false reality, and they live in that. and they'll defend that. They'll protect it by any means necessary, even knowing that it's false. I don't know what's happening outside, but sorry about that. But they know that it's false, but they are going to protect it by any and every means necessary. That's a dangerous individual. Emotions, how you deal with your emotions has a lot to do with your mental state, your mental health. We are creating and developing into narcissists every day because we are not being emotionally honest. And I know it sounds far fetched, but it is not. We are developing into narcissists because we are not emotionally honest. We are turning into ourselves, making it solely about us. I gotta get what I gotta get by any means necessary. I don't care whose toes I step on, nothing. I don't care who I gotta steal from, who ass I got to whoop today, who mama I got to lie on, whose neck I got to cut. None of that. I got to get me, and that's it. Narcissistic. We got to do a whole lot. And I ain't gonna say we got to do better, but we got to do a whole lot to heal as a collective. A whole lot to heal as a collective because narcissism is real. It's real. It's developed. It's made to happen. It's like we're creating these diseases based on what is going on in our environment, based on what's going on in society, what's going on in the media, what what these other individuals, entities, and corporations or whatever are causing us to experience. We are developing into these diseases, and they know that. That is part of the plan. That is part of the plan. Seek and destroy. Y'all, a lot of us have such, and this is totally off script, which I usually am anyway, but a lot of us are so narrow minded, so one track minded, so surface minded, um, believe every damn thing except the truth that we do not see. We don't see, we don't acknowledge, and won't see and won't acknowledge what's really going on. We want to be live that we are living in a world, in a society where, well, everybody is just so sweet and this is that. How do you even see that? You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want to be live that we are in the midst of some real fucked up shit. It's a mentality. What's happening in the world is based on a mentality. The mentality has to change. There is a disconnect with people to other people. There's a disconnect. There's a lack of empathy. There is a rise in narcissism. This is real. This is real stuff that's happening. Pay attention, please. Pay attention. Start having some conversations that make sense, that are about something, that are empowering. I'm just saying, I'm not gonna hold you because I'm not. I'm just not. I've given you the information. What you do with it is totally up to you. You know, I love you on purpose with purpose. And we'll talk again, most highs willing. And I'll see you then. All right. Peace.